Join us, the Humanitarian Heartbeat Podcast, on a journey where we delve into the heart of the matters that truly make a difference. Our mission is to create a platform where we can openly discuss topics that often go unnoticed or unexplored. We aim to shed light on these crucial issues and have meaningful conversations. We invite you to tune into our podcast, where we will explore the depths of these subjects and let our hearts guide the conversation. Together, we can create a space where everyone's voice is heard and where we can collectively work towards a better future. Welcome, everyone, to the Humanitarian Heartbeat Podcast. I am your host, Nia Imani, and I have the pleasure of interviewing this beautiful soul, beautiful faith, beautiful person. I call her Coach. Everybody calls her Coach. Coach Onika. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, hello. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for hyping me up.
Oh my God. Now, first, we hear an accent. Where are you from?
Nobody can ever guess because I'm from Montreal, Canada. My first language is French. My father's from Trinidad and Tobago, and my mom is Hungarian. So people can never guess. I have an African first name and a Hungarian last name, so it's a mashup.
Okay, but you have like Nicki Minaj's first name, right? Isn't her first name Onika?
Yes, and she's also Trini. So yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes people like when I go to Starbucks or something like, oh, Nika, like Nicki Minaj is funny to me anyway.
I love it. I'm going to read your bio because I need the whole world to know how amazing you are. And then we're going to get right into the questions, okay?
Hi, thank you.
You're welcome. So Coach Onika helps build communities worldwide through fitness and wellness events, welcoming all fitness levels in person and online. Her approach is scientific, intuitive, and holistic. She guides individuals through physical and internal transformations using mindfulness, breath work, strength training, yoga, mobility, and nutrition. Onika is a wellness coach with over a decade of experience, looking like she's 13, a decade, a certified yoga teacher. Now, is it Hatha yoga?
So I did both. I have two certification. One is Hatha Yoga, and that you holding poses for longer, and then Vinyasa, which flows into one another.
She's certified in both with over 400 hours of teacher training. And that's not it, a certified personal trainer with the National Academy of Sports Medicine. She is also a behavioral change specialist and nutrition coach. After working in gym settings and managing fitness centers for 7 years, Coach Onika has worked independently as a wellness coach for 9 years. Every time I'm sorry.
I said, when you say it like that, it just sounds like a lot.
It is a lot.
It just all goes into one person, though, because I feel like that's like the approach, right? I see a person as a whole. And for me, I feel like you need all those things to make a transformation.
I love that. So the first question I'm going to ask you is, who do you say you are?
I am a person that helps others feel motivated and empowered to do their best, to be their best. And that translates into fitness or, just my community. Like that's what my friends say. I bring the best out of them. I think it's just, well, if you spend enough time around me, you'll start believing in yourself. That's who I think I am.
I love that. What made you want to do this? I mean, what made you want to be a fitness coach and a personal trainer and et cetera, et cetera? What made you want to be in this field?
To be honest, I think it kind of happened organically, kind of by accident. First, I recall like my mom when she had my brother, and I used to watch her exercise in the living room doing her little Pilates moves. And I think that stuck with me a little bit. And then, yeah, so I moved out. I was 17 and just needed a job. Job is what I asked to just pay my little rent. And I just stumbled upon someone who was like, hey, I'm at a gym. Do you want to work there? And then I was welcomed into this Italian family who just ran this gym. And I did every single position in that gym. And the way it was set up, like I started at the front desk, but the front desk was in the middle of everything. So you had like boxing over here, MMA over here, bodybuilders, and you're just in the center of it all, welcoming people into the door. And it just like absorbed all of that, being able to like look at these coaches, these amazing athletes, just completely just transformed how I move my body and how I think of myself. And I remember even like training a long dance, some people are like, world champion of this and that. And I'm just like, I am a new girl here. But over time, I'm like, you know what? I want to be like that. I want to be able to jump rope like this. And that's when I got my first workout program from my first mentor. I still have the program printed out from like back in the day, but it's just kind of all happened organically. And here we are today.
I love that. That is amazing. Now, from what you have learned from seeing your mom and your mentor, is that what made you integrate the scientific principles and intuition and holistic practices into your business?
So I've done a lot of different things. So I started with yoga, which was very woo back in the day. Like not a lot of men used to do yoga, but I liked it. So I started with that. And I used to train or work with bodybuilders. They would compete and they were so stiff and they're like, oh my gosh, Onika, like I need some yoga, stretch me out, help me out. And I was like, okay, there's something here. So I started with the yoga, and then over time I just integrated, like I moved to North Carolina. I started managing a CrossFit gym. So the owner's like, hey, I'm going to teach you everything, how to do an assessment. I'm going to coach you through workouts. And he took me under his wing. So from that moment, I was introduced to CrossFit, which was really badass and brutal. And I was like, what the hell? I thought I was in shape. I'm not. So we started there, right? And it just grew because I'm like, wow, cross is amazing. It has its place, but I think we can go a little further.
Mhm.
So then I went to get the certified personal trainer certification with the National Academy of Sports Medicine. I feel like that really completed everything because I'm like, yeah, CrossFit has its place, but what about the rest? What about, mobility? What about, isometric movements? What about, like training not for functionality? What about training because you want a nice booty? Like that's not included in CrossFit.
Yeah.
So it's all about the performance. So yeah, that felt like it was really complete after that. And now I just integrate it all because I think it all has its place in the human body. And again, like back in the day, like if you were yogi, you were yogi. If you were bodybuilder, you were the bodybuilder. And nobody really like mixed but I saw it as an opportunity because I'm like, all these great things, if you sprinkle a little bit of this, a little bit of that, you can really start feeling amazing. So yeah.
I love that. So that's what makes your coaching, that's what makes you different. You incorporate a little bit of each into your practice.
I don't believe coaches, unfortunately, like they like something, it works for them, so then
Mhm.
they push that onto every client. And I don't do that. I want to see what's going to work best for you, and that could be Pilates, it could be more yoga based, it's going to include some strength training for sure. But I just think that it's important to, do what's best for the client, not just what works for me,
I love that.
if
Now,
that makes sense.
absolutely. Now, how would you work with somebody who's like, Coach, I don't like working out, but I want a booty. I want a shapely figure. How do you motivate or push people who don't want to work out, but they want to see the results?
Right. So a lot of people do come to me and are like, I hate exercising, but I'm going to give you my good earned money because I need to make this happen. Right. So, and I'm like, okay, you just have to show up. I'll do the rest. Okay. Like showing up is half of the battle. So you don't have to be motivated every day in order to do this. And I work with clients in person and online, but at the end of the day, it's connecting people to their why, right? So people will first say, okay, I want a flat stomach, I want thick thighs, I want a big booty, I want toned arms. Yes, but why? How is that going to improve your life, right? When you start digging into that, and okay, well, feeling better about myself is going to boost my self-esteem, is going to affect all types of areas in my life. It's going to help me, show up better for my family because I'm taking time to take care of myself. And when you're able to peel off the layers of why do you want to look a certain way, and you realize that it goes really much more deeper than just looking cute in a dress, then people start to tap in more and showing up. When you realize that it could be a tool for your mental health. And I think so many struggle. Throughout the years, it's incredible how much women specifically hate their bodies, and they just feel so uncomfortable in their skin, and it's really sad. And all types of women, I'm talking about thick, slim, tall, short, all types of women that sometimes look like the after picture for some of my clients, still hate their bodies. And it's, I think that there's a beautiful, space where you get empowered by getting stronger, by showing up for yourself, by taking great care of yourself, that can heal, those parts of you.
I love that. I love that. You've been successful in building global communities centered around fitness and wellness. What strategies do you find most effective in engaging diverse groups and maintaining inclusivity across different fitness levels?
Right. So I always welcome all fitness levels. And I think that's important to just say it, because people are intimidated and they're like, there's a workout. It seems like something I would want to do, but I'm scared. So I make sure that, that's being said. Now, I say international because I've moved around so much, right? So from Montreal to Miami to LA, North Carolina, I've hosted, group workouts all over the map. So people work with me there, but then they follow me, they move around, they work with me online. So that's how the global, happens.
Yeah.
And now because of social media as well, it's, it grows even more. When it comes to integrating all fitness levels, one little trick is very simple, but work for time instead of reps. So if I have a big group, right? Like when I used to teach group classes at Jumpman downtown LA, right? I have athletes, that are beasts, 6'3" basketball player. And then I have my little lady that's just like, hey, haven't worked out since I got my baby. How is this all gonna work together? And working for time is so good. Meaning, let's say you're gonna do a squat for 30 seconds, right? So maybe my athlete is lifting 30 or 50 pounds, and maybe my beginner is lifting 5 pounds. Within that 30 seconds, the athlete may be able to do, 15 reps. And he can even add like a jumping motion to that, make it even harder. Well, my beginner may be giving me 10 good reps, and that is good enough for me, right? So that you're really making the most out of that 30 seconds. That's all I ask. And then when it comes to blending all of these energies into a room, I think it's important to have an icebreaker. Make sure that you're looking around, because we're all here, for the common good. So look around, introduce yourselves, encourage each other so that you feel like you're not doing this alone. Because I think one common denominator is that no matter how good you look or not, everybody feels alone. So just being like, hey, you know what? Let's get human here. Let's push each other and be there for each other. It empowers the room so that, people feel like they're connected to each other while they're working on themselves.
I love that because typically when I go in a gym, I feel so intimidated. So I love the fact that you have the icebreakers and you want people to look eye to eye and just feel like a part of a community. That would be amazing. And that's huge because I'm usually like in my shell and I don't want to be around anybody, or I don't want to talk to anybody, or I just want to listen to music. So what you do is absolutely powerful.
Thank you. And just to touch on what you're saying, I have an online fitness coaching group, as you know, and we have a chat, and I ask surveys sometimes, and I asked all of the group, have you ever been intimidated about going to the gym? And I know, how does that affect you? And most people answered yes, right? And those are all people now that are in my program that go to the gym regularly. They might work out from home here and there, but they're still showing up. And that goes to show that, even if it's uncomfortable, that doesn't mean don't do it. But at the same time, most people feel a little awkward or very intimidated by the gym. That doesn't mean they don't go anyway. And as a trainer, I will tell you, when I look around the gym, a lot of people look like they might seem like they know what they're doing when you looking at them, but trust me, a lot of people are doing random stuff they saw online. And sometimes I see bad form all over the place, and I'm just trying to focus on one thing, my workout or clients.
Right.
But people are just doing the best they can, and they may fake it till they make it, and it seems intimidating to you, but trust me, it's more of they're more like you than you think. And so just relax into it. Keep your head up high, know that you belong there, and you don't know what struggles or what things people are facing. Even the people that have all the little cute outfits and like the energy, you don't know what they're dealing with. It could be great mood, bad mood, depression. You never know. But to think that everybody's like a hardcore athlete that's looking down on you, that's just not the case. It's just not true.
I love that. I love that. Because I even think of, like, I know people who will be in the gym for like 2, 3 hours. Like, they're taking their time, they're doing their reps. And for me, I'm like, I just want to be in 45 minutes and then just leave. So I love how you're saying just show up for yourself. That's all that
Yeah,
matters.
just showing up. I have a set workouts I give my clients, right? At the end of the day, if you didn't have the capacity to do a whole thing and you did half, you gave me 5 reps instead of 10, you gave me 2 rounds instead of three, that's the win in my book. Why? Because you showed up and you did something towards your goal, and you're installing the habit in your subconscious mind that I take care of myself and I do what I say I'm going to do, what I'm going to do, right? The intensity can come later. Some days you're going to crush it. You're going to do everything above and beyond. But some days you're going to barely, do the bare minimum, but that's okay too. As long as you're showing up, you're moving the needle forward.
I love that. I love that. Now, how do you incorporate in all of this mindfulness and breath work? How do you incorporate that? Because I even think of just everything that's going on in the world. How do you incorporate in all that?
Yeah, so I like to every week I'll send a video to my group, different things. And breath work is one thing that, I promote. I think everybody should do it. Even just a simple box breathing technique, or connecting your movement to your breath. Like in yoga, that's very, known that you connect your movement to your breath. But in strength training, it could be the case too, where you inhale on the way down from a squat, exhale when you come up on the effort. Connecting your movement to your breath, it just helps you tune out the noise,
Mm-hmm.
and get a deeper mind body connection, so you can have a better mind and muscle connection, so that you get better results, but also just kind of shut down the distractions, shut down the noise. And it could be, a little meditative when you do it that way, and also regulating your nervous system along the way. And when I think of mindfulness, I also think of setting an intention before you start your workout, just like we do in yoga, right? I teach a class, I'm like, let's set an intention for yoga practice, set an intention for your day, set an intention how you want to start the year 2025. Let's go, right? Well, why not set intention? You just parked your car, you're about to walk into the gym. Let's set an intention. Let's have some gratitude. The fact that you were able to make it to the gym, the fact that you get to go to the gym, you can afford a membership to the gym, you are able to walk in there. You're not in a wheelchair, huh? Be grateful, right? And if you're in a wheelchair, then shout out to you for rolling in. But you know what I mean, like having some gratitude, that's the mindful part. And so that it just makes it less of a chore and feels more like something you get to do for yourself.
I love that. That actually sets everything in perspective too. How do you How do you though block out the noise? Because I find myself when I'm working out, I'm thinking of, okay, well, I have to cook dinner next, or I have to do this. How does that take time? Does that take practice to just focus and block out the
I
noise?
have AD. So I have a monkey mind. What helps me is number one, music. Okay, I really need that music. Whatever it is, I got. Sometimes I come up with a playlist in advance, or I'll obsess with one song and I'll put it on repeat. But music helps me set the mood. Just like when you're sad, you're gonna put up some sad tunes, and when you're feeling sexy, you're gonna put some love making music. You gotta hype yourself up with some music when you're about to hit the gym. Slow jams are just not gonna hype you up. So if you're leaving work, like let's put, I like some ratchet hip hop music when I'm getting ready for the gym or something to like get me going. But that it helps a lot. And also I think that we're so powerful in convincing yourself in or out of anything. So just mindfulness comes in when you're like, sounds like I'm really convincing myself not to do this, and that's not in my best interest. So give me all the reasons why I should be going, right? And you're having this conversation with yourself. And so I think the self-talk is huge. And I talk to myself all the time. You got this. You're showing up as your best self, showing up as her. I just need you to show up. Just go. The rest will work itself out. There's a constant battle. Like I don't always like wake up and like these Instagram videos like, breaking up, yay, going to the gym. I feel like it. Like, girl, no. Sometimes I'm dragging myself there, right? So there's a pep talk that happens, but the pep talk is potent because I've been doing it for a while. So I know how to, I'll be like, keep pushing just a little bit, easy, piece of cake, piece of pie. You got this. You can do hard things. And it sounds ridiculous, but it works. It really works to hype yourself up. Why? Because we're constantly bombarded with negativity from all over the place and our own inner thoughts, which are not always speaking the truth. So we have to combat that with a nice, healthy dose of positive self-talk. As ridiculous as it may sound, it does something. Just try it out. That's
I
all
love
I'm going to
that.
say.
I love that. Now, does that also help with the nutritional aspect too? Because once again, I think about myself. So after I work out and I have a good workout, and I'm like, I could probably have a cheesesteak after the workout, coach. No, 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 no. So how do I show up as my best self after a great workout and stay consistent, be healthy, eat nutritional food after a good workout or after I just showed up for myself?
I really, I think that I'm doing the reward system. Like, we are not dogs. Why are we rewarding ourselves with cheesecake
Mm.
and food? Yeah, so there's so many ways to celebrate ourselves, right? And I think of like, what's an actual reward? A reward should be something that's good for you, right? And not to say that when you balance your macronutrients and you have a balanced diet, you may be able to squeeze in a couple treats here and there, but generally speaking, out of self-love, you want to eat what's best for you, right? And so I think that it takes, again, like it takes a little discipline, but also thinking of it as what's the actual treat would be something that's great for me. How about I treat myself with a massage, good workout clothes, maybe a massage gun, or a healthy meal to nourish my body because I deserve it. I think too often, I always say to people like, you are a sexy new Lamborghini, baby, and you're putting cheap gas in it, without even thinking about it. And it's time to be a little bit more picky about what you're putting inside your body. For me, is reward is something that's great for me, right? And so once you start thinking that way, yeah, you're not a dog. You don't need a treat. Yes, of course, at sometimes time you can have something, but it's just that idea that I did an effort and now I'm going to do something that's bad for me because I love myself and I'm proud of myself. It just doesn't match. So let's find other ways to regulate your nervous system and to celebrate yourself that doesn't revolve around food or alcohol.
I mean, I have nothing to say. That I've never heard that before. You are not a dog. And that light bulb just went off in my head. I mean, no words. I know people listening to this are like, yeah. I mean, I think you changed the whole trajectory of rewarding yourself just by saying that, coach. That's amazing. I've never heard that before.
Well, I'm glad it landed. Um, and yeah, I think you're an amazing queen and you deserve what's best.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. That I think everybody just needs a pause after that because Coach Onika just put it on us. That makes so much sense. And like she said, it does not have to be food or alcohol. And I think that's typically what, at least I think that's what other people think once you do a good workout or do something that you have to be rewarded with food or alcohol. But there's much more other things out there. So I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, I think, turning up the self-love, I think kind of opens up the perspective of this because when you love someone or something, you're going to do what's best for them. And it seems so easy to do when it's outward, but it's time to turn that inward because I know when you love someone, you do what's best for them. You really do, right? You don't cut corners. You give them the best of what you have. And that has to be, something you also can do for yourself. So sometimes I'm like, yeah, I love myself, but I love myself enough to do what's best for me? And I'm like, there's room for growth here. And I'm speaking for myself as well.
Yeah. Oh, wow. You need a talk show. This is that, like, that just hit me like a lot. So thank you for sharing that. Wow. Um,
I'm glad.
After spending several years in the gym and managing fitness centers, what motivated you to be completely independent?
Oh wow. So I'm an Aries woman. I've always been independent. I actually never worked as a personal trainer in a gym for more than a week. Okay. I've done every position in the gym, front desk, sales, the juice bar, teaching yoga, um, doing orientation and fit tests for CrossFit gyms, and managing the front and all of that. But I actually never worked as a personal trainer in a gym more than a week, and that's when I worked at Equinox. And that's when I just moved to LA. I already was, self-employed for a couple years doing personal training for my own. But I was like, I'm new to the city. Let me just go to Equinox. It's a brand, and get to know some people. And I onboarded, and everybody was very lovely. But you have to like clock in, and it's just something as an entrepreneur that like it just like didn't sit well with me. And then let's be for real, they charge a lot and you have to charge a lot, right? And you have to charge what it's worth,
Mm-hmm.
which is totally understandable. However, when you work for a gym, even if you're one of the top trainers there, you get peanuts. Like the gym keeps a lion's share. So I found that trainers that were excellent and were booked from morning to night were barely able to like provide for themselves. And I was like, yeah, that's not going to be for me, because if I'm going to get out of my comfort zone, talk to people, make a connection, be of service, put a plan together for them, help them change their life, I want to be compensated for that. And I don't want to be struggling. And so working in corporate gyms is just not the way to go, in my opinion. At the stage I was in, I think that there's this place where learn the lay of the land, but I've been around it for so long, right? So many of my friends were personal trainers, compete in bodybuilding. I've seen it inside and out. So I think it has its place, don't get me wrong, but where I was at, I just was like, no, I'm an entrepreneur. I can't clock in. And then it allows me also to choose, my clients and attract people into my world that are a match. So when I work with someone, I really feel like I'm helping out a friend, honestly. And So it doesn't feel like a lot of work. I do it joyfully, and there's something just really organic about the whole thing. And, I get to do this because I work for myself. I think if I worked in a gym, I would probably be assigned whoever is in front of me.
Mhm.
And instead I get to, work with people that are, more alike on the same wavelength. So it's a blessing.
I love that. I love that. Are there any, you mentioned the pros, but are there any cons with being completely independent or not really?
Yes, of course, because nothing's guaranteed, right? So I was fully booked in North Carolina in my personal training business, and then I decided I'm going to move to LA. So that basically meant starting from scratch. So that was definitely prepared, to be humbled, and I did take some time to, grow your network and grow your clientele. So, um, I don't think it's for the weak, because there's no guarantees in entrepreneurship of any kind. You have to have the systems in place, but I just always knew, I felt it in my heart. Like I love making an impact. People love it. It's just a matter of getting in front of the right people. And it's a ball effect. And once, you can connect with one person, make a difference in their life and get a testimonial from them that, is really impactful for me. I love a good physical transformation, but I think it, affects people in such a different way that, deeper than youth. I've cried with clients sometimes because I'm like, they just were so impacted, and it had a profound effect on them. And they're now going into their lives, approaching it in a way that they feel so much more happy and empowered. And I'm like, I had something to do with that. Oh my God, like that's amazing. So
That is
yeah.
amazing. And it, even in the way that you talk, I can tell this is your purpose. This is your calling. Do you feel that way?
Absolutely. And that's how I feel. That's definitely how I feel. And I think it's embodying it in everything I do. Like I am like this online, offline. Like I'm just that person. Like even when I worked in corporate, I was still the instigator of all things fitness in the office. It was just always, a part of who I am. And yes, it's work, of course, but it feels like there's just an energy like bigger than myself that's, helping me grow this community.
I love that. I love that. Um, are there any challenges with working with people or with your amazing and bubbly um, spirit and personality? There's not that many challenges because I'm sure you sway people to be amazing.
I do have some Jedi mind tricks. I'm pretty persuasive, and as sweet as I could seem, I want what I want. And when I know someone's capable, I will push them, because they may not see, the end, and they may not know how strong they are, but I know. And I will never put someone in a position to fail. So I could be pushy in those ways, and that can be challenging sometimes. But I think there's such a foundation of trust and love that I have for my clients, that they believe they may not believe in themselves all the time, but they believe that I believe, and that's enough for them sometimes. Um, but for the most part, it's really the people that I work with, and we get along really good. And some clients become friends, and some clients have been training for years, and it's just a part of our lifestyle. But I think sometimes when there's a challenge, it could be like someone, like for example, I've met someone that had really traumatic, like surgery, spinal surgeries. They were on bed rest for a long time. They lost mobility. They lost their independence, and now they're entering into my world for guidance. Of course, they're not as easygoing, whatever you say, coach, as like the other ones are like, hey, I'm concerned, like this and that and that. So it's like, okay, let's slow it down, and let's shake hands that, whatever doesn't feel comfortable, we're not going to go there, and we're going to listen to your body, and we're going to discover what you're capable of together. So there's a slowing down sometimes, but it's just about getting to know people. um And anytime it didn't like perfectly click with someone, I would say that I don't take it personal. It's more so if they're going through something
Sure.
and it's out of my scope. You know, if somebody that's like, for example, like on the very skinnier side is telling me that they want to lose weight and they want to lose a lot of fat and they feel so overweight and they're killing themselves with cardio and not listening to the nutrition advice I'm giving them, I'm like, oh, okay, this person has an eating disorder and I'm not going to participate in them destroying themselves and punishing themselves in the gym, right? So there's not an alignment there. And I don't think that personal. There's just not much I can do for this person at where they are at right now. They maybe need, more help, medical help, psychological help. And, that's just not my scope. So in that sense, like they could be challenges like this, but for the most part, people that gravitate towards me are people that are ready for a change. They just need somebody to guide them, cheer for them, hold them accountable, and celebrate your wins as well. Because I find that, it's people need affirmation too. Like when you're killing it, you want to hear it. You want to
Absolutely.
somebody to clap and cheer for you.
I love that. I love that. Where do you see yourself, your business in the future?
In the future, I feel like the future is like slowly happening now based on the seeds that are being planted, but I would love to reach a wider audience. I would love to do more live events. I can imagine either hosting retreats or being the fitness facilitator in some retreats, getting people into their body. And I would love to, let me claim this, okay? I would love to be the trainer on a tour, okay, a musical tour. Whether it's the singer, the bands, like if they want to maintain their fitness throughout, I would love to do a tour. Okay. I would love to be the trainer on a movie set. So let's just put it out there in the universe. And then just more community, based workouts. So just so we can, tap into more people.
I love that. That is definitely going to happen. I love that. I love
Yeah,
that. I
here, this podcast.
and I feel like if this is not the most important question, it might be the second one, but I think this is the most important question. Where can people find you?
Yes. So I am on Instagram. That's Onika Fitness Coach. So Onika Fitness Coach. I am on Facebook as well, a little less, but I'm still on there, Onika Fitness Coach. And then my email, it's trainer@onikafit.com. So you can email me there. And on Instagram, you can slide in my DMs, ask me any fitness questions. I always say there's no dumb questions, only dumb answers. So don't be shy. Slide my DM if you want some guidance, and we'll take it from there.
I love that. You literally exude happiness, kindness, and coming from somebody who can actually call you coach. And a lot of the questions I was saying for myself and for the audience, like I'm always like, I don't want to work out. I don't want, and she is so kind. But like you said, I wouldn't say stern, but like Nia, come on, let's get it done. And that's what I need. That's what people need, like that fire under them to get started, to get your
Yes.
result, you
A
know?
little fire under your bum. Never hurt nobody.
So I see you all over. Coach, you're going to be in Switzerland. You're going to be in Poland. You're going to be whatever. You're going to have to choose what movies that you want to go on.
I would love that. I think it's so fun. It's basically to be a part of something that's bigger than yourself. Like I'm claiming that this year, 2025. Let's go.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And I always end with, I mean, you've shared some powerful nuggets. You shared with us why we all need a coach like you. After everyone hears your words and sees this podcast, who will we say that you are?
You will say that I am a person that brings the best out of people. That's my gift.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. I love that. And one more time, tell the people, and we're going to have it all over, but tell the people where they can find you, because we all need a transformation in our lives.
Yes, join me on Instagram. It's Onika Fitness Coach, Onika Fitness Coach. Slide in my DMs, ask me some questions. I have a body type quiz you can take as well to understand your body type and what are the best strategies for you to get results on your fitness journey.
I love you guys. You are going to not only fall in love with Coach, but you're going to fall in love with yourself.
Yes, I love that.
And I'm telling y'all, don't wait, because as soon as if you wait and then you reach out to her, you're going to be like, darn it, why didn't I do this a week ago, a month ago, a year ago? So contact Coach. And this is how she is 24/7. I'll look at my phone like, oh my gosh, Coach is so happy and so excited. Let me get in the mood. I'm like, let me get in the mood. Like, she puts you in the mood. Like, all right, let's get it done. Let's just go, And then as soon as you do it, you see the results. And then you're like, okay, then I really need to do it.
Yeah, honestly, it's not that hard. It's just, I think most people don't, like, you've done maybe eating right at some point, working out the right way at some point, working on your mindset at the right point, having a support system, but having it all together, it really is a magical place.
Yeah. I love this. Coach Onika, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. From one empowered woman to another. Thank you for having me here. Thank you for shining your light on all of us and on me today. You are appreciated.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I'm going to end with this. When you guys slide in her DMs, when you guys send an email, let Coach know that you heard it here on the Humanitarian Heartbeat Podcast. That way she knows.
Yes, that's right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Coach. You guys heard it here, the Humanitarian Heartbeat Podcast. Your host, Nia Imani, and the beautiful, the impactful, the wonderful Coach Onika. Reach out to her, okay? Bye, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us on the Humanitarian Heartbeat Podcast. Remember, each conversation brings us closer to a world where compassion thrives. Stay connected, stay informed, and let's keep the heartbeat of humanity alive. Subscribe, share, and be a part of our journey to make a difference, one conversation at a time. Until next time, keep your hearts open, your minds curious, be a blessing to others, and give agape love. God bless.